Hi guys, it's the Sluices here. We are at Waiho River public fossicking area down next to Franz Josef. We've been doing a few pans around. We also did a bit of sluicing. I'll show you the spot we worked downstream in a minute. We didn't really work it. We did a test pan and yeah, so downstream on the inside bend, you can see our camber way over there. Just the first inside bend as you walk in. I did a test pan and it was a decent result. Like there was one little flake and 3 or 4 microfine specks. And we were like, alright, we panned all over the place, didn't get any better than that, maybe one speck, that was the best spot. We then set up the little sluice, but you can't really see, but that's the main river over there. It's a huge river, and down there it all converges, and so it's really hard to get the sluice going. So we made a big dam, set up the sluice, and there was so much flow, we had it going, maybe did a bucket worth of material, and then the sluice slipped out of its bearings, I guess, tipped over, and all the material came out, so that was a bit of a disaster. But no, we've came maybe 200-300 metres upstream, and we're just continuing panning. It's a pretty small fossicking area. Well, it's not small, but it covers the whole basis of this creek, and then it comes, well, it's not a creek, it's a massive river, and then it comes up about 100 metres up this valley here, and about 100 metres up that valley there, give or take, might even be 50, but it's not very long, but it is, of course, this entire river. But the main problem is that main river, it's not even high at the moment. If anything, it's low, and it's just raging. Like if you cross that, you probably get swept away and die. So the only way to get to the other side is really drive over the bridge and then go over there and start mining. But we're doing a few test pans, and hopefully we get an area with better results than down there. If not, we'll just give it a good go down at the spot down there, and we might walk away with a little bit of gold. We'll get back to you once we're in a mining spot. Hi guys, we've done a few more pans, not too good results, but there's a little creek here right at the side, looks quite promising, and then it goes up into this valley, and there is a huge waterfall, it's a small waterfall, but it's really tall. It's got to be at least 30, if not 40 metres. But the problem is, it's in that valley there, which it's really dodgy rocks. It's really tight, so if one of them fell, it could be quite dangerous. So we're not going to go up there. But that waterfall up there underneath it, I reckon there would be a bit of gold trapped in there. Quite a cool spot, but yeah, just a bit too dangerous. We're nearly at the edge of the site. It kind of ends just where those ferns are, maybe a bit further. So we'll go up there, and then maybe we'll try that side, and if neither of them are any good, we'll just go back to our original location and pan there for a bit. The sun is shining though, almost giving me sunburn, even though it's misty clouds there, the sun is sticking out. But yeah, we'll get back to you once we're mining another spot. We're just kind of at the back end of the fossicking area now. We've tried almost everywhere, and it just seems the only spot we've got results is just outside where our car's parked back there. There's a few creeks that have fed into the side of it here. We haven't went up the creek, but we've tried at like the bottom of them when it's still within the confines of the fossicking area. And those, they had a lot more black sand, but that's still nothing. There is a little bit of potential gold catch. If you see over there next to that bridge, there's a bunch of exposed bedrock with some nice crevices in it. I reckon there will be quite a bit if you could get to that, because there's not no gold here, there's just not very much. A bit of gold if you could get to that, but access to that is pretty close to impossible. As if you follow the track down here, the creek down here, you then have to go to the other side where there's no parking, cross the other river, because there's two, then cross another river which is about half that size, and then you have to come and walk all the way up here and then climb on top of that bedrock, which is a bit hard, and that's kind of pushing the boundaries to where the fossicking area goes. I think it really only goes to pretty much exactly where, I think it only goes to where that creek feeds in. But and some massive rocks. So those rocks don't look too big on camera, but that rock would be 5 meters tall. It's titanic rock. If we could get over there might be some good gold in front of those rocks, so we might try the other half of the river, but otherwise we'll just go back down to a spot outside the parking area and go all out there. Catch you up. We're back down at the lower end of the river. We just thought we'd give it a bit of a go. Just in this spot where I actually got gold test panning, we just thought we'd set up the sluice and give it a bit of a go. But I actually did a relatively solid test pan. So in here, this material in front of this rock, it was kind of mixed gravels there. And then I did a test pan. And there's actually an alright sized flake in it, as you can see there, a smaller bit, and then quite a few little specks as well. So it's not actually that bad considering, like, it's really easy digging and there's tons of gravel here. That is the upside, so you can just go dig. So that's not that bad considering, like, we might walk away with a bit of gold if every pan has that much material in it. We'll keep working on the sluice, sluicing material from under that rock, and I will identify some deposits around here that we can sluice out from there. Just the problem is, this is really the only strip of river you could dam up and make a sluice, because if you look at that, you're not going to get a sluice going in that. So just this little side bit here, it's really the only place, and then way up there in those creeks we were exploring before. So we ideally can't really go any further than that, but he's going to dig some of that material as well, and I'll do a few more test pans and we'll dig some of that material. I don't know, we might walk away with some gold. We thought while we're in the area we might as well do the Franz Josef glacier walk. Some nice gold bearing waterfalls up there. And the thing was, of course you can't mine them, we never will, but look really promising. Like those there, it doesn't look very big on camera, but I said it's at least 100, maybe even 200 meter drop. And the good thing is, in 1867 there was a picture, well, during the gold rush, but the glacier was all the way down the valley, like way further south down here, like almost back to the car park of this spot, not actually that far from where we were mining. So all this was all glacier, so the old timers could have never touched it, so it's all virgin ground around here. And so under that waterfall they'd have some nice payment, but unfortunately, you can't mine there, it's a national park, so no way. Hi guys, we're digging, we've got the sluice here. We moved, instead of that rock down there I showed you, we got quite a good test pan. So we're doing maybe 2 buckets worth in this hole here. The bad thing about this river is, I showed you before some of the exposed bedrock, but in the actual fossicking site areas there is no exposed bedrock, and you're in such a massive river. Even though just behind that huge waterfall way in the distance over there, there's like Franz Josef Glacier and stuff, which we went to have a quick look at. It was actually a bit disappointing because the path was all blocked off for health and safety reasons, so you couldn't really get a good view. And there's a bunch of exposed bedrock even just up there, but down here the bedrock would be dozens, if not hundreds of meters deep, I reckon. Maybe, it might only be 10 meters deep, but you're not going to really be able to get it to it practically by hand. So it's really just, you're just looking for some flood gold. We did maybe 2 buckets worth of material from just in that hole. We'll clean it out. If it's actually quite good, we might keep mining, but otherwise we'll just head down. We're mainly just here to try the spot out. We've done a good bit of prospecting. That there and that there are some of the best spots in terms of test panning at least, and flood gold quantities. So we're just going to do a bit of a test. If it's really good, we'll stay. Otherwise, we'll just head back to Canterbury, and maybe on the way back we'll stop by at Slab Hut or something and get quite a bit of gold. But it's got a decent bit of gold in it. And there is a bit of gold in the test pans, but we'll show you what our cleanup is. Probably won't be spectacular, but maybe a bit of gold. Oh, that's around the wrong way, sorry. We just did the clean out of the, well, we haven't done it, we just lifted the sluice out of the river, And if you look in the map, that's actually a really big flake. Like that's not far off picker size. Like that takes up the whole riffle. That's actually quite a nice size flake in there. And that was from the top of the hole, according to Dad. He said it popped up right at the start. So if there's anything more than that, I might actually keep going here, because that's actually not too shabby piece. And if there's some more down here, it's definitely worth giving a shot. Hey guys, so we did our clean up from those buckets. There's not much finer stuff, except a few small bits, like you see one there, but then we have this big bit I showed you in the map, and that's actually a nice chunky picker. That is probably a $3-4 piece of gold there. It's not very big, but it has a lot of shape and size to it. It makes a nice little ting when you drop it. That is actually quite a solid piece, considering the amount of work we did. So I actually think that warrants continuing on. Like, if you're getting that much per bucket, that's actually quite a bit, and that's quite an exciting bit. Like, I was quite excited when I found that in the net. And yeah, so not much finer stuff there, but there's that big picker, so I'll suck that up, and I think we'll carry on. The gold looks kind of interesting here. It's like all jagged and chunky, but yeah, it's quite an interesting find there. So we might continue on up there. Catch you later. Here's the result. It's actually not too bad in the end. Like, that's more than we thought. There's a few nice chunky flakes. Like, those flakes in there, they're actually quite nice flakes. Like, I was quite surprised when I got those test panning. And then that picker was actually quite nice. It's a $4 piece, so it's actually quite chunky. That was actually quite nice. Lots of smaller flakes and finer gold as well. You'd always just get a few of those a pan. But it's actually quite an interesting sight. We only did really 2 buckets worth of material. So for 2 buckets, that's not that bad.
They were easy buckets too.
Yeah, really easy digging as well. So sometime in the future, Franz Josef is quite a nice place for maybe a family trip. So we might come up here and just spend 6 hours or a day or so going all out. But in the meantime, it's not actually that bad of a site. It was actually have a bit of gold and a few nicer pieces.